Okay, hafa day, everybody, and welcome to the March 2022 Guam Green Growth Steering Committee meeting. The Lieutenant Governor will be unable to join us today, but he will be catching up and sending some updates later on during the week. Well, we'd like to begin our agenda today with some remarks from our overall Guam Green Growth co-chair, President Thomas Christ of the University of Guam. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Austin. Happy day, everybody. Just wanted to thank everybody for the hard work and camaraderie that goes into the G3 activity. I've just returned from a trip to Honolulu and the mainland and had lots of conversations with alumni. Particularly, we're celebrating 70 years this year, and it was great to have some face-to-face activities. And I was really pleased with how much interest there is in the environmental sustainability activities of G3 and of course of Center for Island Sustainability, and I was just really pleased with the Guam diaspora and how much they're paying attention, how interested they are in Guam and the region, and it was just a very satisfying thing all around. So just to comment then that people all over the country and I think around the world too are paying attention to what Guam Green Growth is doing. So I bring greetings from all those people to all of you. So, situs masi.
Thank you very much, President Christ, and great to hear that the trip went well and that our alumni and diaspora are following along with Guam Green Growth. We are happy to be setting an example for other islands around the world on how to move forward with our sustainable future. So next up, I believe I will do the co-chair, steering committee co-chair update. So I'll pull up my slides here if our team can just spotlight me. Thank you. All right, so the big update that I have for everybody today is that we have launched the second season or the second cohort of the Guam Green Growth Conservation Corps just this week. So here are, I'm going to show you some photos of them and what they've been up to in just the past couple of days. So as we've mentioned in the past, the Guam Green Growth Conservation Corps is a workforce development, workforce development program, preparing our community for the emerging green economy. And we have selected 12 members out of over 100 applicants that will be going into different workforce development training initiatives or topics such as agriculture and aquaculture, invasive species removal, renewable energy, recycling, the circular economy, and so much more over the next 5 months. So they are will be out in our community full time, and one of the exciting things that you can catch them at consistently every week will be a Friday island beautification event where they move from village to village, and I'll show you the schedule for that coming up for this month. So here they are on day one, Monday, starting off orientation at the University of Guam. We were thankful to have both the governor and lieutenant governor come join to welcome them and also read a pledge with them as they committed to becoming Conservation Corps members for the next 5 months and to contribute to our sustainable future. And here are our new 12 members. And so they're been doing, they don't just stay in the classroom for the first day. We get them right out in the field to do some warm-ups in conservation and beautification. So we have these new planter boxes at the University of Guam Cliffline on our campus here, where we just installed some sustainable development goals signage to bring some more awareness. So we're touching up this spot, and we're going to do an official launch of this during our 70th anniversary year. So you'll see more of this to come. Today, the Conservation Corps is at the G3 Community Garden in Hagåtña. As you may recall, we have 2 of these now. There's one in Talofofo, but today they're working in the Hagåtña Garden right across the post office and the Guam Museum. And they are helping to expand some of the gardening offerings. There's going to be more planters in the space thanks to the help of the Conservation Corps. And the announcement about the island beautification events, we ask that everybody who has time on Fridays to please join us. And we're hoping to bring lots of community groups along the way to volunteer with us like we did in the last cohort in 2021. We're starting up in the north of the island with the Jigo Beautification event Friday, March 18th. That's this week. 8 a.m. we'll be meeting in front of American Grocery. And every week we ask that volunteers that come to bring a water bottle, mosquito repellent, long sleeve shirt and pants, sunscreen, a mask, and a hat. And after this Friday's Jigo Beautification event, we'll be moving on to Dedido, then to Muning, Barrigada, and MTM. And then every month we will get you an update on where we're going next. And we're doing this in partnership with the Mayor's Council of Guam, the Island Beautification Task Force, and GVB to get the word out each time we do one of these events. So we will make sure we get to every village. Last announcement I have for you is that we have the upcoming 2022 University of Guam Conference on Island Sustainability, April 5th through the 9th, and we're excited to return in person and hybrid. We'll be at the Hyatt Regency Guam. And the theme this year is Harness Wind in Our Sails to Sustainable 2030. And so this is building upon the momentum that we have been having here in the Guam Green Growth Initiative and through all of our island networks. We want to keep this going and get to our destination of Sustainable 2030, which is where our action framework is guiding us toward. Thank you to President Kreis and Governor Leon Guerrero for serving as or returning as our conference co-chairs. And we have some speaker announcements that are up on the website now that you can take a look at, and we're going to continue to add the speakers as they confirm, and including hopefully an exciting keynote announcement later this week. But you're all on there too as our conference, as our G3 co-chairs of the categories of action. You'll be on presenting at the G3 biannual meeting, and Rita's going to talk a little bit more about that today, but you'll see your pictures up on the website, just like last year as our speakers. So we have, just for example, Dr. Monica Moher from Puerto Rico, a really popular science communicator that will be teaching a culturally relevant science communication workshop and working with a lot of our STEM students. President De Leon Guerrero from Northern Marianas College will be joining us. We have the director of the University of Hawaii Institute for Sustainability and Climate Change, Dr. Kaufman, will be joining, and many more that you'll be seeing again April 5th through the 9th. Okay, before I pass it on to Rita, are there any questions so far? Okay, thank you, everybody. And now to our G3 Steering Committee Coordinator, Rita, take it away.
Thank you, Austin or Dr. Shelton. As Dr. Shelton has mentioned, our 2022 UOG Conference on Island Sustainability, the dates have been shifted a bit. So it's April 5th to April 9th. So please update your calendar so that you have that. I did put in the chat the website, so you can also check out the speakers that Dr. Shelton was mentioning, as well as having your being able to see yourselves too as the working group members on there as well. With that, our biannual meeting again will take place during this conference. We will be sharing, the confirmed dates and times, as well as the registration information in the coming weeks. So just keep a lookout for that. And then I did want to touch up on the fact that we did update the biannual report template. And so let me just share my screen for that. Nothing much has changed, but based on the feedback from Lieutenant Governor from our last month's steering committee meeting, he did mention, trying to include some photos or media into your presentation. So this is typically the quadrant that all team leads submit to us, as well as an additional slide for any additional information. We did break that up so that you're able to incorporate those photos to showcase the action items that have been completed, or even like community call to actions that you do want to highlight during the biannual meeting. So if you do have any photos or any media that you can fit into your presentation, we do encourage that. But if you do have, any other media such as video or audio that you do that you do want to share, please share that with me via email, either by this Friday, or we can extend it until March 25th of next week. That's just for us to ensure that we can incorporate that smoothly as you present it on the day of. And if you, again, have any assistance that you do need to incorporate media, please let me know, and I'm happy to help out. So I do also want to note that for the results that you have completed, if you can make sure to add all the results that you've completed, even from the previous biannual meetings. We are trying to keep track of that so that we could start to track our overall progress in each of our teams of what actions have been completed and how we're reaching our goals. And I can assist with that too. One way to help with tracking that, and I can reshare my screen, is our working document for our action framework. There is a column here, column K, that says completion. And so this is just an example from the Healthy and Prosperous Communities. They've been doing a really good job in tracking that, but they've been looking at the action items that they have here on column E. And as they're making updates, they're also updating the fact whether their action item, the status, whether it has been completed, implemented. So we are counting these. So if you can keep track of that, please do so. But again, if you do need assistance on, figuring out what status of the action item that you're tracking, I can also assist with that. And so final reminder, the biannual templates are due, or the biannual report templates are due to me by March 31st. So that's a Thursday. So please, if you have not yet, please be meeting up with your team, or, updating your team leads with your respective updates, so that we can make sure that that is reported out on our biannual meeting in April. And last but not least, our G3 dashboard, we do have some updates on that. Our Educated, Capable, and Compassionate Island webpage, as well as our Sustainable Alliance web pages, are now live. So you're able to, check that out and see what our teams have been doing and all the progress that they've been making. I will be sharing a brief presentation after our team leads updates to share about the Sustainable Alliances webpage, and give you also a sneak peek into the drafted web pages for our Sustainable Homes, Utilities, and Transportation web pages. That's pretty much it for my updates. I just want to open it up if there's any questions for me before we turn it over to our team leads. Okay, sounds like we don't have questions, but if you do, and it comes up during our meeting, just make sure to drop it in the chat, and I can also help answer that. Dr. Shelton, would you like me to facilitate the team leads?
Yes,
For the
thank
updates?
you, Rita.
Okay, awesome. All right, so I will go ahead and let's see who's from the Healthy and Prosperous Communities. I see Lola online. So Lola, if you can share updates from your team.
Hi, yes. Good morning, everybody. We also have Melvin, who's Tabilius, who's also representing Mel, who's at a hearing. So yes, as per Rita, we have effortlessly been working with our group to update the matrix. We have it roughly about 90% updated. We are also collaborating with public health to also get their updates, because public health has been really busy. So we hope to get those final updates. Well, I hope to get it released by this week. And so based on the updates that we did on the matrix, Rita has graciously summarized them and actually had populated the information onto the biannual report. So what we're going to do, we're having our next meeting, I believe we normally meet at the last month of Friday, but since this is due the day before our meeting, we would probably want to probably just regroup to kind of share what we have so far. And that's pretty much the only updates I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Lola. All right.
Oh, I just wanted to jump in and say congratulations, Lola, on your retirement. Thank you so much for all your contributions over the years, and it's been a real pleasure working with you from here at the University of Guam.
Thank you.
Okay, so we can move on to our next theme, which is Educated, Capable, and Compassionate Island. I see Dr. Okada and Miss Lonnie Brennan.
Okay, I'm okay to report for our group. So our group did meet and we have filled out the template. We have a really good list of results that we've had since September 2021. We will be tweaking because now that under emerging opportunities, now that the law enforcement compensation retention has already been done, so we can move that to a result. But just some of the things that have been completed, it's the, so just a couple of things. Virtual Learning Center in Youth Correctional Facilities is an accomplishment. They're currently testing DYA case management system. DOE presenting best practices at Teacher of the Year project-based engagement opportunities with students during COVID. The UOG graduation of the first cohort for the BS Engineering program, Bachelor of Science Engineering program, and the extensive training from the Guam Micronesia Geriatrics Workforce Enhancement Program. So those are two areas for UOG. On the GCC side, it's the completion of the boot camps. And so we'll have data associated with how many boot camps we've done, how many students have completed, and where they are placed. And then I'm hoping, I mean, we've got it on here, the college is expecting to complete, hopefully by the end of March, may slip a little to the beginning of April, but 2 additional LEED certified facilities on the GCC campus. And so I'll submit some of those as photos just to see how that is done. But we took the time that we had in our last meeting to go through the quadrants and put through all of these, to fill out the information. We do have additional information identified from the ESF funded projects that will be listed to specify academic activities, sports activities, learning resources, sports programs, social emotional health programs, and the safe return to campus. And so these are all going to be submitted as part of our presentation for the conference. And so thanks to the A team that we have here under our Educated, Capable, and Compassionate Island Committee, and thank them for all their hard work. So we will circle back around to go to the framework document and do some updates based on where we are in terms of the updates since September of 2021. And thanks to Rita for her support in these efforts.
Thank you, Dr. Okada. Sounds really great to hear all the great progress, even being part of those meetings. So now we'll move on to our next team, which is Sustainable Homes, Utilities, and Transportation. I do see Brent Weesey online, as well as the working group member, Michelle Lastimosa from Guam EPA.
So we're working to update it. We have a meeting scheduled tomorrow, and so we'll be refining the spreadsheet and getting that up to date.
Thank you, Brent. And Michelle, if you have any things you do want to update from Guam EPA, now's the time, or you can also share it on the chat as well. All right, so we can move to our next team, which is Thriving Natural Resources. We have Ms. Banji. So Ms. Banji, please share your updates.
Okay, thank you so much. We too are updating our worksheet. Fran is attending a workshop at Guam EPA, so she is not able to participate today. We've been working with Department of Agriculture to update the sections related to life below water. And some of the things in their update are that Department of Agriculture will be having their kids fishing derby again this July and September. The derby is a catch and release program. It's really there to teach children how to fish, but also about conservation. And Department of Ag will provide more information as the derby becomes closer. They also have a pilot program that they're going to be introducing to Guam, which is to take groupers and attend from, I believe it's Palau, and they'll be releasing it into both the MPAs and outside the MPAs. The groupers will be tagged, and they're going to be teaching kids how to tag the fish. And the hope is to understand where the migration of these groupers are, but also to be able to restock some fish in the areas outside of the MPAs. I think the intent is also to see if they stock them within the MPAs, that it will be a method to see if it can be more sustainable in terms of an area where the groupers can reproduce. Department of Ag is also working on the fishing license regulations. They're already drafted, and they're hoping as soon as their purchase order is approved that they can start the advertisement for community outreach and education on it. They're very active in the fisheries management plan. It's being developed. There's a workshop that is being tentatively organized with NOAA, their partner, to provide data necessary to write the plan. The part of the development of the fisheries management plan is a community subgroup that their staff at DAWR is working with the community of fishermen to understand their concerns and needs. This is part of the, will be fed into the fisheries management plan. It's expected that by the end of fiscal 2022, the fisheries management plan will be prepared and available for the community. DAWR is also working on the habitat conservation plan. I think I reported about this a couple of months ago. It's a plan that addresses incidental take of endangered species by non-federal entities, including like the government of Guam projects. Stakeholders meetings have started since February and March. And this Friday, there will be a stakeholder meeting with business developers in the real estate community. All of this will be included in our update in our template. And so in addition to the work with DAWR, we've also worked with the Lieutenant Governor's Office in hosting a stakeholder meeting with the various government agencies, our federal partner NOAA and Department of Defense. It's to launch the update of the Micronesia Challenge Sustainable Financing Plan. That financing plan really tries to get all the costs associated with trying to meet the goals of the Micronesia Challenge. And it really covers a lot of the work that is happening within this G3 group. And so I think that that's important for us to find out what it does cost to achieve the goals that we've set ourselves out for 2030. There will also be a workshop to update the information as well as to try to get more information from the community. It will be part of the CIS pre-conference workshop, which is slated for April 4th. We will have that first Monday as our pre-conference workshop to address the Micronesia Challenge. That information will be reflected in our spreadsheets as well. The budget information from the various entities are due tomorrow, March 17th. So I'm hoping that I'm really hoping that we can get all the information from the different Guam agencies so that it can support the update for the Sustainable Financing Plan for the MC. Other than that, we're looking forward to providing you a very creative update for the annual meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Vanjie. So now we'll move on to our last team, Sustainable Alliances. It looks like we have all of our co-chairs for that team. So Melvin, Juan Pat Borja, Carlotta Leon Guerrero, as well as Trina Leberer.
I can jump in. I can start for our team. One of the things that I would talk about is that I'm now, the governor's office is working with legal counsel, and I see Cheerful is on the Zoom meeting. We're working with legal counsel on improving our status in the Pacific Island Forum. What's different is that now legal counsel is engaged and they've been asking questions, and we've been going back to the Pacific Island Forum Secretariat to try to figure out what is the pathway. We thought we could maybe go from observer status all the way to straight membership. I mean, full membership, but they were saying they think we have to stop at associate status for a while and then prove our commitment to the Pacific. And then the leaders of the Pacific would be the ones to decide if we go on to full membership. So that's something that we're working on right now. The other thing is I brought the idea of us supporting a fossil fuel treaty to our group. And then we asked the folks from the fossilfueltreaty.org, the ones that are pushing the initiative, to speak to our group. And the Fossil Fuel Treaty is modeled after the Nobel Prize winning initiatives that advance landmine treaties and nuclear free treaties. So they're following that pathway. They're looking for some leadership in the Pacific. So we asked for more information, we got more information. So I think the Sustainable Alliance group is comfortable enough to now move it on to legal counsel. So I'm glad Cheerful's there, because we would now move it on to legal counsel to find out what we can or can't do with it. And we didn't want to get into legal counsel or move it into the governor and lieutenant governor until we had a look at it first. And I think it passed that first hurdle. I don't know if Trina or Mel would want to jump in on that, their thoughts about the fossil fuel treaty and advancing it.
Thanks, Carr. Yeah, this is a really exciting development for us, and I just want to acknowledge the work that Carlotta has been doing to coordinate this effort. We had a pretty good meeting with the group for the Fossil Fuel Non-Proliferation Treaty. We definitely, I mean, obviously it's relevant for our island and all island communities, but it's really the only one of its kind out right now, and so they have significant support, and we're hopeful, for a positive outcome. On another note, I did want to add that we are actively recruiting research assistants for some of our various research projects. I wanted to thank Mel and the team from GITA, as well as the team from RCPP, who has been assisting us in securing the resources in order to hire out these research assistants. So we received a few applicants. If any of you know of some young folks that are skilled with the gift of research, we could use their assistance. Our team is pretty spread thin, and we've committed to some important research projects. Our scholars on our team are prepared to organize the effort. But the assistance on the research end is definitely very helpful for us. That's all I got for our updates. We're just continuing to chip away at these connections and relationships with these other entities to expand our reach, and hopefully these research projects will be done shortly.
Melvin. And Trina, do you have any other additional updates? If not, I will move on to our next team. Okay, so I did forgot to mention, but we do have our final team who we do have representation from, which is data and public engagement. So we do have Kyle Mandapat here to share some updates.
Thank you very much, Rita. Hafa day, everybody. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? Happy Wednesday to you all. Halfway through the work week, right? So on behalf of the team, I just want to keep you updated on some of the stuff that we've got cooking on this end in terms of the recent events that we've been able to kind of help make happen through the group, like our new community garden launch down in Telefofu, along with the new aquaculture system set up at SKC. We have the makerspace opening, of course. It was great to see everybody there. And the relaunch of the Guam Green Growth Conservation Corps. We've been able to really take advantage of being out there in the community, especially coming out of the pandemic. We've got a lot of great support from our media friends and partners, so we appreciate that. And it's really helping to keep the program and some of our implementation projects on the top of people's minds, and more especially get them engaged out there. We've got a couple people, when they heard that the Conservation Corps was getting ready to come back up, they're asking, are we going to do the cleanups again? How can we involve? Are we moving it to Saturday? So just the fact that people are excited for the projects and to be involved is a great thing. So we're going to leverage that and continue to do that moving forward. we do have some other implementation projects that we'll be bridging off of, just like the makerspace. This past weekend, we were able to kick off workshops and the workshop schedule that'll happen every single Saturday. And I'm going to invite Ms. Miracle Magol on now. She's actually our circular economy and makerspace coordinator down there at Chamorro Village. And she'll tell us a little bit more about the workshops that we've got coming up this month. Mir.
Hi, half a day. Thanks, Kyle. So yes, we just started our workshops. They're free for now as an introductory for people to join us and get used to signing up on our links. We are also inviting people to take tours with us. I'm going to try and share our flyer for the classes we have going on this month. Is everyone able to see this one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have some amazing artists and makers who are joining us to teach, including a few who are in-house attendants who will be there. I think a few of them are already booked, so I believe the last plastic workshops on the 26th is fully booked as well, and the bamboo processing, I think we may have one seat left. So if you're interested, please sign up. I will drop the link on the Facebook comments for people to access right away, and I'll also put it in the chat here. If you have anything, please check us on the Guam Green Growth website as well. But yes, if you want to come in, do a tour, find out how to be a member, or just find more information, you can contact us through that as well. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes. So in case you're just listening or driving and this is your soundtrack, you can access the website at guamgreengrowth.org. Okay, so we have everything up for there. At the same time, as I said, we've got some other projects and some other great things that we're going to be engaging in to help engage the community. We're working together with the Youth Ambassador team, and we're going to be putting together and helping them put together their interview series with the other youth groups and really helping to mobilize that entire group. So we're really excited about that, and that's coming up real soon. We're working with Kyle and the group from the YA. Okay, so on top of that, again, if you have any questions or anything that you'd like to see featured, if you have any ideas, we love those. You can feel free to email us or get at us on the website. As I said, the CIS newsletter comes out every single month. So if you haven't already signed up for that, please do, so you can stay abreast with some of the other things that we've got going on here in the group and opportunities for you to be involved. We're setting up our meeting, Rita, so that we can continue to work on our steering committee quadrants and our pictures. There's going to be a lot of pictures, a lot of me, a lot of you, a lot of fun. Thank you.
Kyle, so I do not see any of our G3 youth ambassadors, but I can share some updates since I have been working with them, as well as Nolan and Lawrence from the Guam State Clearinghouse on the Youth Summit. So they are having their first introductory events for their Youth Summit this Saturday, March 19, where all these youth groups, the Guam Youth Congress, the Governor's Youth Council will all get together to start drafting or setting the stage for drafting their youth action plan. So that will be very similar to our Guam Green Growth Action Framework. And as well as next month until the end of May, I believe, or until the end of the school year, the youth will be conducting SDG/voter outreach activities, just to start talking about our work here at Guam Green Growth and how the youth can get involved with SDGs, as well as how to be civically engaged. So that's something that they have in the works, and we are also helping support that effort. All right, and I believe that's all for team updates. Is there any questions at all that anyone has that they'd like to ask?
I like the other ones better, I think. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Tyler from KUAM News. I just wanted to know if we could get a few more details on this year's Island Sustainability Conference. Like, what are some of the key topics of discussion? And also, will this be recorded for the Zoom? I know you guys did that last year.
Thanks for the question, Tyler. We have several topics. Well, first of all, I should mention that it is an in-person and hybrid conference. So we will be at the Hyatt Regency Guam. and there will be an option to stream in. And so we'll continue to connect with many of our international audience members that have been joining us for our past 2 virtual conferences. This is the 13th UOG conference on island sustainability, and so we're happy to have the in-person component back. The theme is Harness the Winds in Our Sails to Sustainable 2030 to keep building on our momentum of what we've been accomplishing so far with the Guam Green Growth Initiative. There will be topics such as renewable energy, food security, the circular economy, and a few more. Tyler, I could share the flyer with all of the topics and details with you right after the call, just to make sure I don't miss anything. But a couple of things that I did want to add that I forgot earlier in the meeting is that, as Rita mentioned, we're going to have a youth summit on the back end of the conference week. That's going to be on Saturday, and the youth are creating their own action framework that will be sort of as a great supplement to the G3 action framework that we have now, that's aligned with all the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals, how our island is implementing those in locally and culturally effective ways. So we'll now have a very strong youth voice and component to drive that forward. We are also going to have on the front end of our conference, Tuesday, April 5th, a housing summit, a Guam Sustainable Housing Summit that's being coordinated by GURA and the University of Guam School of Business and Public Administration's Professional Masters of Public Administration, PMPA program. So they're putting together this whole agenda together with GURA. We'll be talking about affordable housing, new innovative housing strategies, and also how to solve some of the homeless issues that we're seeing on the island. So those will be some key features of the conference this year. And then we have lots of great speakers, climate change experts, food security experts coming in. And also we had some of our past keynote speakers like Hank Rogers, the owner of Tetris, and also the Blue Planet Alliance Foundation founder. He was a past keynote virtual presenter, so he's happy to come in person this year, and we're expecting quite a few others. And so all of this information about the 13th Conference on Island Sustainability is available at uog.edu/CIS 2022. And our team will get that in the chat for you as well. Thanks for the question, Tyler.
Thank you. And then I just had one more. I was wondering if you could provide an update on, I know there was at one of the meetings you were talking about the G3 starting these like trash collections or these trash bins at the public parks and beaches. Has that started, or what's the status of that?
That is being implemented right now. So we do have 20 or so recycling bins that have been installed at one in every village. Each mayor has picked one up. So the community can go to their mayor's office or the location that the mayor chose to recycle glass, metals, and aluminum cans. And our partner iRecycle will be sorting the trash or the recyclables and taking it elsewhere. And so the great thing about the aluminum cans, if you're recycling through these bins, the redemption fees go back to our local schools. So that's a great benefit for everybody. And then we do have 50 trash receptacles that are being placed in different parks around the island. So we're working with Department of Parks and Recreation and Public Works on the installation of those. And I believe next week or the following week, we're going to have a big surge of these go out because our G3 Conservation Corps will be out there installing these and to get most of them out there at one time.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Dr. Sheldon.
Thank you. Any other questions? I think we, after a few more questions, Rita has one presentation on the dashboard for us.
Oh, hello, Dr. Shelton. Yes, I just want to follow up. I heard that you say earlier there's an event with the new cohort at the Hagatni Garden today. Is that correct?
Correct. They will be there all day until around 3:30 before they return to campus, but please feel free to go visit them at the G3 Community Garden in Hagatni. They're setting up and expanding new garden beds today.
Great, thank you very much.
Thanks, Jackson. Okay, if no other questions, we'll go back to Rita for a presentation on the unveiling the new section of the G3 dashboard.
Great, thanks, Dr. Shelton. Let me share my screen for that. So I will share the dashboard that is live, or the dashboard web pages that are live for Sustainable Alliances. I did mention earlier that the Educated, Capable, and Compassionate Island web pages are now also live. I did do a presentation a few months back for that. So here we go. All right. So I won't go into too detail about the web pages, but if you have been checking out the dashboard in terms of the layout, it's pretty similar. So this is the kind of the web page dedicated to Sustainable Alliances. You'll see kind of their team summary of the goals that they are working towards and the overall, vision that they have, as well as the dashboard on, or like kind of like the table of primary indicators for their group or for their team. And this is where you'll be able to navigate to those 4 subcategories under their team. So one being self-determination and decolonization. So I'm just going to show you how to navigate to those. You'll be able to, read more about their efforts on these, as well as, see some photos. For this team, it's not too data driven, but as we make progress, we will be sharing more, more data, whether it's qualitative or quantitative. So you'll be able to read about their progress, as well as, additional resources linking to their progress. Again, this is where you will be able to navigate to all the other web pages. So this is informed, clear, and unified message. It's their second subcategory, and this will talk about, their efforts on, having this working group, and as well as organizing an international policy clearinghouse, and more links. And again, these web pages will be continuing to be developed and evolve. So as more information, as more progress, and even feedback from the public and the teams, come about, the web pages will be updated to those additional information. And then we also have the third subcategory, which is genuine security, peace, and prosperity. We did get a lot of good input from the team. So all of this, again, has been approved before going live. So we did talk about what genuine security looks like for our island that the team is working towards, workforce development, as well as additional resources to even the different groups that are doing this work. And then finally, we have partnerships to advance the goals. This is the fourth subcategory. So this goes down into, again, our partnerships that we have globally, regionally, as well as the forums and presentations that G3 is represented at, or, either participating in some capacity, whether they're hosting or, participating on a panel, as well as our local partners. I believe this has increased, so this will be updated. And our efforts to set up our data and dashboards. We are participating at the local 2030 Islands Network Community of Practice on this, so that we can also share this knowledge with other islands on how to set up their own dashboard. And again, more resources here with the partners that we're working with regionally and globally. So that's for Sustainable Alliances. Again, this is now live, so you can go ahead and check this out at your own free time. I will share the drafted web pages for Sustainable Homes, Utilities, and Transportation. This is not yet live. These are just currently still under review by the team, but I did wanted to share, just a sneak peek of what their dashboard would look like. So again, you'll see their table of primary indicators showing at the high level, what the progress looks like in achieving their goals. And this is also the page where you'll be able to navigate to all their subcategories. So they do have 6. They have infrastructure and buildings, waste, transportation, housing, water, and energy, I have been getting some feedback from the team as well to include additional information. So that's why this is not yet live. We're still waiting to see if there's any additional information, but here we talk about on this first subcategory, which is infrastructure and buildings. We talk about, the vulnerability assessment of Guam on terms of climate change and how that affects our infrastructure and buildings and what we're doing on our island to ensure that we have, we're adapting to those things. As well as disaster preparedness. So all of these topics all fall under this subcategory, and we do encourage you to check it out once they do go live. We also talk about our efforts through the weatherized homes. It's called the Weatherization Assistance Program that the Guam Energy Office operates or manages to low-income households to help them ensure that their homes are energy efficient, but also prepared for ensuring that their homes are prepared in terms of health and safety, being up to code to that. So that's all the information here. And so this is also a great resource for the public to look at, in terms of programs that we have available to help meet our goals too. I'll just go ahead and briefly show the other web pages. So we have waste here, talking about our solid waste at landfills, and also our plastic bag ban outreach that we did last year for 9 weeks in the months of November to December, raising awareness about the fact that we do not have plastic bags distributed at local retail stores anymore, and to really encourage the public to bring their own bag when they are going out on errands to grocery stores, as well as our recycling efforts. And the fact that we do have the Island Beautification Task Force, as well as our Conservation Corps, helping to address illegal dumping through also our recycling bins and our waste bins that we're putting out into the community. We have transportation here, and we have, for transportation, we're also tracking at a high level our fuel sales, also looking as an indirect indicator, our gas prices as well, and how that relates to fuel consumption. And then we're also tracking through the Guam Regional Transit Authority, mass transportation, what does the ridership look like? So all this information is again still under draft, but we hope to have this live before the conference so that everyone can take a look at that at their free time. Now, as Dr. Shelton mentioned, we have our housing subcategory here as well. So we'll include information as well from that housing summit, with all the efforts to ensure affordable housing, as well as, housing our homeless population or our unsheltered population. And there's additional resources as well. And then water, this is our fifth one. So we did get a lot of feedback from Guam Waterworks Authority. So this webpage will be sure to be updated as well with all their information. So this talks about water supply, as well as, their program on trying to have something called the Customer Assistance Program. So that's the efforts that they're doing there, as well as the wastewater treatment. And then finally, we have our last subcategory, which is energy. So this talks about our efforts with renewable energy and how we're going to get on the path of 100% renewable energy on our island by 2045. And yeah, all of our efforts to getting the community integrating energy efficiency into their home. And again, updating our state energy plan with the Department of Energy. And that's about it. This is just drafted. I just want to keep expressing that this will be live, hopefully before the biannual meeting or our conference in April. So that is all. Are there any questions? Okay, if you do have any questions, please feel free to email me as well, and I'll be sure to update or respond to that and update the dashboard if it is relevant to the dashboard. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Rita. We have a few minutes for open discussion if there's any other topics that our steering committee would like to bring up. If not, we'll end a little bit early today, and we look forward to seeing you all in person next month for the G3 biannual meeting and the 2022 Conference on Island Sustainability. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, Austin. Thank you, everybody.
This meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Have a good
everyone.
rest of your day.
Take care.
Thank you. Have a good day.